Our guest today is Joshua Feletti, a lawyer in Nigeria and editor at Spacewatch Global.
Personally, as you've mentioned, I studied law here in Nigeria. I'm hoping to fully go into space law. I mean, I have a bit of experience in space law, but I'm looking to get an actual degree in space law and policy or something similar. I've been in the space industry for a while professionally. I worked with Space in Africa for a bit before I moved to Spacewatch Global. Here at Spacewatch Global, I prepare news and I'm the primary news editor to Spacewatch Global, and I also write feature articles on Spacewatch Global.
So, Joshua, if you could please tell me, why space? What led you to the industry in the first place?
Okay, so I think the interesting thing is, as a child, 9 years old, I got interested in space as an idea. I remember reading a textbook and seeing the constellation Orion in the textbook, and going home that night. I think I was lucky enough to also see Orion in the sky. It resonated very deeply with me. And growing up, I always saw Orion in the sky. It was always there. So that helped develop my attraction to space. As you know, I studied law because now when I decided to study law, I didn't really know any way to apply, any professional path in space. Or somewhere down the line, I discovered if there's space and I'm studying law, perhaps there could be a link between space and law, space law. And I did my research, and lucky enough for me, a lot of people had thought about that. In fact, decades ago. So I found a lot of framework to really go into. So that got me interested in space law. Primarily in 2019, I was lucky enough to represent my university in at the Manfred Lack Space Moot competition in South Africa. Not the regional
Yeah,
competition in South Africa. I'm guessing you know about the
yeah.
global competition. Oh, unfortunately, we did not win the African regionals. But I and my colleague had the best memorial for the competition. So
Mm.
preparing for Manfred Lux really exposed my eyes to space, like really opened me to space law. I had to do a lot of reading about the Outer Space Treaty, the Liability Convention, and the likes. And then because of my experience with Manfred Lux, I wrote my final year thesis on space law and the Liability Convention. So that was where I started my academic interest in space
Mm.
and space law. I should say, luckily, I was able to find and apply for an internship position at Space in Africa.